since I did my review on the Hori Mini Pad and the Super Pad and the Super Pad Plus controllers I had, I thought about doing a review on the regular Nintendo 64 controller. Now, this is not the only color I have. I have a gray one, a black one, and a clear one. In fact, I'm going to show you a few of them right now. This is actually one of my original controllers from 1996 or 97. I don't know what year we originally got the Nintendo 64, but it was originally my sister's at the time, but now it's mine. So, yeah. Here's what the other controller was. We had a gray one, obviously, because we originally had a black one. And it served as years and such. In fact, some of the screws are missing on the back. This one right there, and one of the posts right here actually broke off. So, yeah. Although, the main thing is, it still works. But we're going to use the yellow one to do a review on the controller. Right here you have your directional pad right here. It's actually very comfortable. In fact, I think it's a bit comfortable more than the Super Nintendo directional pad. Some people may disagree with me, but these are my honest opinions. And the handles are pretty decent, although a lot of people complain, why is there a third handle? It looks ridiculous. Hey, at the time we thought this was unique, but now we're thinking, why did Nintendo design it like this? The thumbstick is another flaw with this controller, but at the time it was the first, not sure if it's the first analog stick, but it is the first small miniature thumbstick that can move as far as you want. The real analog joystick would be the Atari 5200, if I'm not mistaken. You know, those ones that had those joysticks that would break down? In fact, those are actually worse than these. Believe me, if you own an Atari 5200, you know what I'm talking about. Right here's the start button, which is a red circle that says start on it. I don't know if you can see that, but it does say start. Right here are your A and B buttons. They are blue and green. Blue for A and green for B. The start button's red. And the C buttons, obviously, they match this controller, which is why I like the color of this particular controller. I just like the color yellow for some reason, for this particular controller. And at the top you have your shoulder buttons, the left and right shoulder buttons. In fact, the shoulder buttons are actually pretty comfortable touching. And the bottom you have a Z button to shoot, like in GoldenEye and other things. And at the bottom you have your expansion slot for your peripherals like the rumble pack or tremor pack, or I'm sorry, transfer pack, or the memory cards. And most people use it for the rumble pack so they can get vibration out of these controllers, because these controllers did not have built-in rumble like the PlayStation DualShock. In fact, Sony actually ripped off the N64. They stole the thumbstick idea, but their thumbsticks were actually improved. They were metal as opposed to this plastic. You can mod an N64 thumb controller to have a PS1 or GameCube thumbstick, but it's really difficult to do that. But there are tutorials online, but if I ever decide to mod a thumbstick with like a different kind of thumbstick, I might get one of those replacement ones, or I don't know. I'll think of something. And it may be weird to use, but using the D-pad and the face buttons are not that hard. For games like Pokemon Stadium, Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, and games like that, I like using this controller because the D-pad is so comfortable. For 3D games, I use another controller. I use my handy-dandy Hori Mini Pad. I mean, this controller is dwarfed by this. The reason I got a blue one, well, I got it for sale, and I explained why in that video. And blue and yellow match my Pokemon Nintendo 64. In fact, I actually have this controller hooked up right now. I use this for 3D games, and I use this for 2D games, unless I feel like going back to using this thumbstick, but for certain games, not like Mario Party, for instance, because if you know, the thumbstick will break off, you could get a blister in your hand, or the thumbstick will wear out. Either one of those three could happen. And yes, I did see a video of some guy had his N64 thumbstick broken off. Although it didn't break off while he was doing it, it actually broke off on camera. So, anyway, if I were you, I'd go for the Horween mini pad if you're willing to pay like $60 or a lot more. Well, actually like 55 or higher. I'm just estimating how much did I see on eBay. So, if you want another alternative to these two controllers, I may suggest the SuperPad 64 Plus. I've actually talked about this in another video. Some people say this is the best N64 controller. Some people say this is. I don't know if anyone say this one is, but it's rather a decision. If you like the GameCube thumbstick, if you like to have a more traditional style, or if you prefer the original design. It's a would you rather for those. You can mod one of these. You can mod a GameCube thumbstick in both controllers, but it's rather difficult for both. And I've seen videos on this having a new thumbstick inside, but I've only seen images of this having like a GameCube thumbstick. So that's my review of the original Nintendo 64 controller. This is best for 2D games like Kirby 64, and this is recommended for 3D games. However, then again, this is also recommended. So, that's my review. Thanks for watching.